What's up everyone, Darcblade here bringing you a new series of video guides covering the multiplayer classes in Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Today we are going to be taking a look at the first class, the Infiltrator. The Infiltrator can fulfill a number of roles. It can be a sniper, a scout, a rogue or an assassin type character. Both the Infiltrator's robot and vehicle mode are quite small, making it hard to hit, but as a result it has low health. But this is compensated by the fact that it has a fairly good vehicle speed and the fastest robot speed. Now, we're going to talk about the Infiltrator's abilities. The first ability that the Infiltrator has is Cloak. Cloak allows you to become nearly invisible when you're on the battlefield. It's basically an invisibility move, giving you a brief time to go invisible and get sneak attacks on opponents. It can also be used as a defensive mechanism to allow you to escape from dangerous situations fairly safely. Cloak can be modified in various ways as well. For example, you can equip yourself with a Cloak Intercooler that allows you to use Cloak more often as it refills the Cloak resources much faster. I love this modification when I'm using my Infiltrator as a sniper, as it allows me to go back into Cloak after a few shots rather than waiting a long time. The second modification is called Spectre. This allows you to maintain your Cloak ability for longer. This is quite useful for players who do like to scout out enemy positions. The third and final modification to Cloak is Shadow Stalker. This is a great ability that allows you to remain cloaked for a brief time after attacking. This modification really suits players who like to get up close and personal when attacking their opponents. The second ability the Infiltrator has is Emp Grenade. The Emp Grenade disorientates opponents, making it more difficult for them to target you. You would know when you've affected someone with an Emp Grenade because they will have an orange-yellow tint around them. With the Emp Grenade, you can hold the ability button down to see the trajectory of your Emp Grenade, which helps for better aiming. Now, like all abilities, the Emp Grenade has various modifications. The first being Short Fuse, which does as it says. It shortens the fuse of the Emp Grenade, allowing it to explode more quickly upon impact. This is probably my most favourite modification to the Emp Grenade, simply because it feels like the grenades explode on impact. Although they don't, but it feels like that. It also makes it easier to affect opponents with the disorientating effect of the Emp Grenade. The second modification is Speed Redirector, that allows you to move faster after an opponent has been affected with an Emp Grenade. To be honest, this is not my favourite, but I can see its uses. It seems to be useful for players who want to ensure they get the kill after they've affected an opponent with an Emp Grenade. The last and final modification to the Emp Grenade is Emp Intercooler. This allows you to use Emp Grenades more often, as it refills the resources needed to use this ability a lot faster. This modification is an all-rounder. It's quite good, there is not much bad with it. One tip I should say with the Emp Grenade is to try to pick up the Intercooler consumable, as this will allow you to spam grenades like a madman for a short period of time. Now, the Infiltrator has numerous weapons at its disposal, the first being the Scatter Blaster. The Scatter Blaster is an automatic shotgun that is really deadly at close range, but this is also its downside because it's pretty much almost ineffective at anything other than close range. There are 3 modifications for the Scatter Blaster, one being an ion cartridge, which increases the amount of bullets in each clip. The second being Sonic Blaster, which increases the weapon's rate of fire, and the third being Fire Blast. Fire Blast is quite a unique modification, as it lowers the actual damage that the Scatter Blaster initially does, but puts a damage over time fire effect on enemies that does more damage in the long term. Overall, the Scatter Blaster is a great little gun, especially when you use it in unison with the Infiltrator's abilities to allow you to get up close and personal with your opponents. The second weapon in the Infiltrator's arsenal is the Path Blaster. This weapon feels like a magnum. This weapon is a heavy pistol that can be incredibly accurate, but it has a relatively slow rate of fire. Also, you have to be careful about the weapon spread, the recoil this gun has, as if you keep firing too fast, the crosshairs make each shot that follows less accurate. I find that if you give yourself half a second, maybe a second after each shot, then the weapon spread shouldn't cause you too much problem. You can modify the Path Blaster in various ways, like all weapons. The first modification is Sonic Blast, which increases the weapon's rate of fire. The second is Magma Dampener. This reduces the amount of weapon spread the Path Blaster has. And the third modification is Lights Out. That makes the last bullet in the clip a really powerful shot. I personally love the Path Blaster. I think it's a weapon that can be used at all ranges thanks to the amount of damage that this weapon can do. It may not be the strongest at long range and it may not be the strongest at short range, but as an all-rounder, this weapon is a go-to weapon. Now the third weapon in the Infiltrator's arsenal is the Subsonic Repeater. This weapon is a high-firing submachine gun that is great at close range. It also grants the user increased movement speed. The Subsonic Repeater is a great alternative to the Scatter Blaster when it comes to close combat fighting. Now, like all weapons, it comes with 3 modifications. The first being the ion cartridge, which is increased bullets in the clip. The second being the hyper interlink, which allows you to reload the weapon faster. And the final one, the third modification, is cyber optics, which increases the weapon's accuracy. None of these modifications have a distinct advantage above the others. I personally like to use the Hyper Interlink because I use the Subsonic Repeater as a close combat weapon. If I want more precise and accurate shots, I would prefer to use the Path Blaster or Nucleon charge rifle. Overall, the Subsonic Repeater is a great little weapon. It's great at close combat, and thanks to the fact that it increases your movement speed, means you're more difficult to hit when you're on the offense, and you can get away quicker when you're on the defense. The fourth and final weapon for the Infiltrator is the Nucleon charge rifle. This is pretty much a sniper rifle. The Nucleon charge rifle has 2 functionalities, or that's how I see it. The first being the charge function. Basically, when you hard scope, you stay zoomed in. 2 charge meters either side of your reticle whilst zoomed in will fill up. Once it reaches 100%, you will fire one single shot that is really powerful. This single shot does a lot of damage, but like I said, it does take a while to charge up your weapon in order to fire this powerful blast. The second function is a sort of semi-automatic sniper rifle, where you can fire off shots faster, but they will be a lot weaker in terms of the amount of damage they do. Like all weapons, the Nucleon charge rifle comes with various modifications. The first modification is the ion cartridge, which increases the amount of bullets in each clip. The second modification is the Hyper Interlink that allows you to reload the weapon a lot faster. The third and final modification, which is unique to the Nucleon charge rifle, is Deadeye. This allows the charge effect when you're scoped in to fill up faster with each successful shot. Out of these modifications, I tend to favour the ion cartridge or the Deadeye modification. The ion cartridge because it's always handy to have extra bullets in each clip when you're using a sniper rifle, and the Deadeye modification because in some situations you don't have the time to fully charge the rifle to do max damage, and the Deadeye modification can help this and at least get off some shots that are slightly charged up. One tip I can give for the Nucleon charge rifle is to fire off a fully charged shot and then follow that up with a weaker shot. You don't even have to fill the power bar up to 1 notch, because normally after someone's been hit with a full-on charged shot, it takes very little damage to actually finish them off afterwards. This can also save you time. Rather than charging your weapon up for a full powerful second shot, you might as well use the second shot as a weaker one. Of course, for the best result, you might as well try to get headshots, as this kills most people in 1 hit. Anyway, overall, the Nucleon charge rifle is a great sniper rifle. It's one of my favourite guns in the game, and although the charge functionality takes a little bit of patience, the payoff is well worth it. The final function for the Infiltrator I'm going to talk about is its vehicle form, which is a fast, nimble car. The Infiltrator's vehicle form comes equipped with 2 machine guns that feel very similar to the Subsonic Repeaters. However, they do feel a little bit weaker than the actual Subsonic Repeater. One tip for using the vehicle's weapons is to use them in close range, because they seem quite ineffectual at long range. But if you do go into close combat with the vehicle weapons, remember to strafe, as this makes you a harder target to hit. Also, you have to remember that the vehicle weapons are pretty much a third weapon for your character. So if you run out of ammo for your primary weapons, you can transform to vehicle mode and you've got yourself a new gun to play with. Overall, the Infiltrator is quite a good character. It can hit very hard in the right situations. It does have low health, but this is compensated by the fact that it has very high movement speeds. Use these speeds to your advantage. Make this character a hit and run character. The Infiltrator is good at both long-range combat and short-range combat, so make a judgment call when facing an opponent to which would be the best approach. Anyway, I've been Darcblade, bringing you my guide to the Infiltrator in Transformers Fall of Cybertron's multiplayer. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like for more.